Right, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. This is the final stage of my little makeover for the Triumph, so it's ready to ride day to day. Now this is going to be the most fun one I've been looking forward to. It's changing the seat. I've been looking forward to getting this done ever since I received my seat. Did a deal with a good friend, Johnny Cactus. We did a bit of the old barter and exchange. I had some equipment that I didn't need and he had a seat that he didn't need. So we did a good old fashioned deal and we swapped them over, and I've got the seat I really wanted for my Triumph. Now, the one thing with the Triumph Scrambler seat is that it's been, ever since I've had it, it's been it's the biggest wart on the bike. I hate it. It's too flat, it's too wide, it's completely uncomfortable, and it's not particularly very forgiving. If you nail the bike and pull away, there's no sculpture to it. If you see here, it's just a plank. The thing is just literally a flat board. So if you're sitting on it, if it's wet, you slide back. If you give it a big handful, it's not really what I wanted on the bike. And I know the greatest thing with these bikes, all of the Bonneville derivatives, that's the Bonneville SC, the T100, the Thruxton and the Scrambler, they're the same frame underneath and the same tank. Now as long as you've got the same frame and tank, then all of the seats will fit all of the bikes. Very much like your Harley Sportster, you can put almost any Sportster seat on any other Sportster, and that's a great thing. It really does stand head and shoulders apart from all the Japanese bikes. Just try and think of one Japanese bike or series of bikes that you can take the seat from another bike and just bolt it on. It just doesn't happen. The Japs aren't like that. It's very much a Western thing, and this particular ability to swap this seat out for something else from the range of Bonnevilles is what I wanted to do. And what I always love the most, my second favourite Bonneville derivative is the Thruxton. I absolutely love it, and I want to put a Thruxton seat on this just to give more sculpture. But there's something about the Thruxton seat that I've chosen that may divide opinion. It certainly divides opinion in our house. Ain't that right, Pen?
It has.
It has indeed. But I think that hopefully putting it on the bike might persuade our Penny that actually it looks okay, and maybe we won't get quite so many dislikes, which we're bound to get on this one, as we would have done. Okay, so this is what we chose. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. This is a 68 antique mahogany.
Brown.
I thought we talked about this. It's antique mahogany.
That is brown.
68 Thruxton seat.
Brown seat.
Okay, coming right along now, the 68 range of accessories. If you just close in on the badge there, Pen. Can't really see it in that embroidered badge. But the 60, the word 60 and the number 8. The 68 range of accessories was something that Triumph brought along as a bit of a lifestyle dress-up range of accessories. You could take what you wanted from it and put it on your bike. They do paintwork sets. You can buy tanks, mudguards, side panels that are all painted in with the 68 logo in the centre. Some rather interesting tank badges and perspex, which was odd, not my thing. They did the seats as well. Now this antique mahogany seat is personally very much a 50s thing. If you go back to the old 50s hot rods and stuff, can you keep a straight face through what?
Your brown seat, fine.
I think it works. Personally, if you look at some of the old Brat style stuff, this whole Brat style thing is very big now and is spreading throughout the motorcycle custom world. And if you look at them, you'll see a lot of brown seats in that, or antique mahogany. This personally is going to look great on the bike, so I'm just going to get it bolted on and I'm going to show you what it looks like. As we've always known, Triumph deemed to fit the most stupid fitting system for any seat I've ever seen. These little bolts are very conveniently placed just out of reach.
Stops it getting stolen.
I suppose it does. Right, there we go. Okay, with the bolts out, these seats are great. They just lift up and back, and that's it. And the one thing I want to do is put these side by side. You can see straight away in the profile of the two seats that the back end is what it's about. This pillion seat is just huge, it's too round, dominates the back of the bike. This is far neater, a bit sexier looking. Hopefully it's going to give me that little bit more style. So let's pop it on and see what it looks like. There we are. Now I'm just going to leave it on to start with without bolting it on.
Actually, I take that back.
You like the antique mahogany now?
I like the brown seat.
Personally,
I actually see where it's going. Looks very 60s.
it is pretty cool. Now, I'm going to come to,
It
by the
looks
way,
lighter on the camera because it's the light.
so it actually is, that antique mahogany is correct, isn't it? Well, the principle of the whole thing in this seat is that it's from another bike and you can just bolt it on. I love it for that reason. It's got a much more comfortable curved position here, so you've got that curvature in the seat rather than the flat plank. That's naturally going to be more comfortable, and I want to bring that now to something that's very important to me, something that's very important indeed. I've got a very close friend of mine, Van Rocco 66, Jeff, over in Connecticut, and he's looking at a Bonneville at the moment. He loves the Thruxton, which has got this seat, but also likes the Bonnevilles and so on, and is having an issue with seat height. So I want to bring that up next and talk about seat heights, because there's something personal that I know from experience that I've dealt with on how to get your leg length or how to get your feet to the ground without just slamming the suspension. So let's get this bolted on and I'll tell you a few things about that in a minute. Right, now there we are. Honestly, whether or not you like an antique mahogany seat
Brown seat.
or not, I'm sure you'll love this. Or not.
I do actually see where you're going with that.
You reckon?
It looks very 60s, I must say.
Right. Now straight away, it is easier to sit on. And there's a specific reason why. When I remember the other seat, as soon as you sat on the bike, there was an issue with it pushing out inside your legs. And that has completely got rid of that. You can also put, if you want to, that Thruxton hump on the back, which would really confuse the look. But personally, I like the seat just sitting as it is. I just wanted this diminutive back end with a little bit more front seat, so it makes it look just a little bit different. Also, when you compare the shape of that, irrespective of the colour, there really is no contest, is there? That's just going to get kept for pillion riding, because that's got a bigger, more copious rear seat for a pillion to move around and be comfortable. Now this really is a little bit more important, this video, than just here's my new seat in antique mahogany. The most important thing here is whether you can sit on the bike and you're comfortable on it. Those of you watching who might be 5'10", 5'11", whatever, honestly, I'm the same, I'm 5'11" and 3/4. We have no idea how it feels to set our heart on a bike, to get the money together, for there to be nothing in the way of us buying that bike, and then to turn up at the dealership and find we can't have it. We can't have it because the dealer won't sell it to us, or because of anything silly like that, or because they're sold out or something. But just imagine that you can't sit on it because your feet don't touch the ground. So anybody under 5'7", 5'6", or less, you're going to suffer with that problem. Now I may have said this in the past, I ran a bike shop for 10 years. And in that time, that was my pet thing. My colleagues in the shop, the guys that I work with, used to make fun of me over it. But it is my pet thing to pamper customers who have the seat height issue. There's more to it than just seat height. It's not just the suspension, it's the shape of the seat. It's the distance of the seat from the bars. There is something of relevance here. Many people who can't sit on a bike, and this is relevant to my friend Jeff, who's having the same issues trying to buy a Triumph at the moment, is it's not just how high the seat is, it's the width of it as well. Just Google up any video of anyone riding a Boss Hoss, those V8 bikes in America. They're always like this, with their feet, daffing around like a turtle trying to get out of the sea, because the seat is so wide. It may only be 24 inches high, but it's so wide. So the width does play a part. And when we used to accommodate a lot of the women riders that came in, I used to try and do anything I could, and we had some serious things that worked for us. One was having the seat remodeled and reshaped. You can go to an upholsterer, you can have the foam removed, you can have the foam resculptured so you sit further forward. You can have the foam narrowed down in the front. I want to show you a few things. Do it from where you are, and just check this out. This is Penny's seat on her Sportster. Now this is an ordinary iron, but this is not an iron seat. This seat is from the 883 Low, and you'll see here you've got this excessively wasted section in the middle that is cut away to allow the leg to go better to the ground, and also you've got this larger bolster on this seat that is about 4 inches further forward. This throws the rider forward in the saddle, so they sit closer to the action, which means they're closer to the bars. Now that brings me to something else. We had an email from a lady just 2 days ago saying that her back hurts.
Trisha.
Trisha, wasn't it? Trisha said that she's getting back pain issues reaching forward to her Sportster bars on her iron, wasn't it? Now
Yeah.
the issue with that is if you're leaning too far forward, you're going to be in that slouch position, which isn't good for your back, especially over potholes and bumps. So if you fit a seat like that with a bolster that brings you forward, you're effectively bringing the bars. Because what Trisha contacted us on was one of the handlebar videos we did, which brings the bars back. So as well as bringing the bars back, you can bring the seat forward, you can waist the centre of it, so you're sitting more upright. What my mate Jeff said in his last video was that he loves the Thruxton, but the leant forward position means he's 2 inches off the ground. If you're sitting upright, suddenly your feet reach the ground. That's all to do with your pelvis. When you lean right forward on a bike, your pelvis rotates forward and your hip joints lift upwards, which effectively picks your legs up. So it's important if you have something like that, if you're looking at a sports bike, say for instance, try something like a the Triumph Street Triple. And the reason the Street Triple works so well is that it's got straight handlebars, so it sits the rider more upright, which drops their back down so they can sit more on the bike. The other side of it is, if you've got a monoshock bike, you can use these. I've got a pair somewhere. They're known affectionately as dog bones, and they are the suspension link plates between the swinging arm and the suspension unit on your monoshock bike. And the length of those, being shorter or longer depending on how the geometry is made, will adjust the height of the bike. So if you go and buy a Triumph Street Triple, Triumph offer an option on some different length dog bones. They're called dog bones for the obvious reason. Link plates, call them what you like. So there are many ways to make a bike lower. But when you measure the seat height of a bike, it's what a tape measure today. When you measure it, it's not just about measuring the seat. If we look at, I just want to show you this. This is something that is a big mistake. When you see a bike and the seat height is measured and it's put in the book, seat height is, when you're looking at different bikes, this is, yeah, that's better. When you're looking at that on the seat height, all they do is they take a flat level across the seat and it's that height from the ground. Well, that ain't relevant, is it? That ain't relevant at all. The measurement, if you're measuring the seat height, whether it's compatible for you, is from the middle of the seat. Because how do you measure your inside leg, your inseam? You measure it from the middle down to your ankle bone. So if you're measuring a seat, take it from the middle all the way down to the nearest point at the bottom, and then take 2 inches off, and then compare that to your inseam, and that will tell you whether that's going to be compatible. But best of all, have a sit on it. Now, if you're going to buy a bike, all I can say is talk to the dealer. If the seat height's not right for you and it's too high, you need to be flat foot down. I see people riding around on the balls of their feet. It's a dangerous business because you come to a camber in the road, come up to traffic lights and stop, bike leans that way, your foot is 3 inches off the ground because road cambers away, and that is dangerous. You soon end up on a big heap on the left hand side, which is really uncool, isn't it? So there we are. I just wanted to cover fit in the seat. This is now the Triumph ready to go. It's how I want it now. I've got a few other things to do. I'm looking into making a bash plate for underneath the engine, and I'm going to try and use some 3mm brass for that. I'm going to try and braze it and make a bit of a shaped one rather than just that strip of printed alloy that's £70. Same old, same old. So there we go. What do you reckon, Pen? Antique mahogany.
Brown. It's still brown.
There it is. It's Triumph Thruxton seat. Thanks to my good friend Ian, Johnny Cactus Zero, for the deal. Like I said, he had some stuff that he didn't need in this seat, and I had some stuff that we didn't need, so we did a bit of trade, and I think that is very old-fashioned and very cool. So thank you for watching. Thanks for all of your kind support this year. This little Triumph hasn't really been a project, it's just been a little bit of a makeover from the rather unfortunate, sort of sad and a bit grandpa that it was when it turned up, into now what I think is getting to be a little bit more street bike. I've got some other things to come. Got the bar extenders. We're going to extend the bars an inch each end. I'm just waiting for some fasteners for that, and that will be ready. And then it's on to other things. But in March, once the season turns, and this will then be used every single day as my only transport, and the Bandit's coming off the road, going to rip all that front fairing off and try and match up the Street Fighter look of the front end to the back end and kind of balance it all together. So there's a big old Bandit project coming up. Got some stuff on your bike, haven't we, Pen? Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty cool. So there we go, waffling on long enough. Antique mahogany 68 seat.
It's brown.
Take it easy, ride safe. See you next time.
That is brown.